Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today we are going to get into my November TBR when I tell you all about the books that I want to read next month in November. I had such a packed month in October with Happy Haileyeen that I'm looking forward to a chill, cozy reading month in November. And yes, I'm still gonna keep up my spooky season Halloween-y lights on my shelves because obviously I'm going to try to extend spooky season as long as I possibly can. And to me, the weather is finally spooky here in Texas. I woke up and it was 40 degrees today, which is why I'm all cozy in my sweater. I'm absolutely loving it. So it is still spooky season to me. I'm still going to be reading some spooky books in November. Stay tuned for everything that I'm going to be getting into next month. But before we get into the TBR, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Simply to Impress. So as we get into November, we are inching ever and ever closer to the holiday season, and we're going to start thinking about holiday plans, holiday gifts, and holiday cards. And that is where Simply to Impress comes in. They have a wonderful wide selection of customizable gifts, but I have some holiday cards to show you guys. You can customize pretty much whatever you want on there. It is super, super easy. I actually customized my own card on here, which I will show you guys, but they also sent over a ton of examples. So everything from like super clean, minimal, simple, this classic like ornament design to like fun and bright with a ton of photos, or like kind of ironic. Like I absolutely love this one with like a queer couple saying, hey, it's us again. Really cutesy, like aesthetic designs, really modern ones. And you can send out one for your dog, you and your dog family, which is what I have. So those are just some really cute options, but I'll show you the one that I made. I completely customized this design. It had some other stuff going on over here, but I liked the wishing you a magical holiday. And I also got the like pearlescent top coat on it, so it's really pretty. I added this like tree, Christmas tree of books, and I love that you can choose like the custom shape of the card. So I did these pretty little edges. And I'm gonna cover up the message on the back because this is a surprise actually for my top tier on Patreon. If you're in my top tier, then your card is literally in the mail, and you're gonna have me, Cam, and Boba and Mochi wishing you a happy holiday with a secret little message on the back. So if you are looking for a place to customize your holiday card this year, look no further than Simply to Impress. Right now you can get 35% off your order plus free shipping by using the code HAILEYH35 at checkout. I'll put that on the screen. It is HAILEYH35, and all orders of $75 or more actually include a free gift, which they also sent over to me and I think is so cute. It is this pretty little garland with all these little clips so you can display your holiday cards, which, oh my god, I can't wait to do this. Like imagine all your cards from your friends and family displayed like this. I think this is such a cute, personal, unique piece of holiday decor. So if you want that for free, you gotta hit the $75 limit, but all orders are gonna ship free, and again, you get the 35% off with my code. Thank you so much to Simply to Impress for sponsoring this video. If you're interested in checking them out, of course, I will be linking them down below. Now, let's go ahead and get into my November TBR. So first, let's start out with my Pretty Girl Book Club pick. If you didn't know, I have a book club. It's called the Pretty Girl Book Club, named after my favorite book of all time, which is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. My Pretty Girl Book Club pick for November is going to be Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. I, if you recall, have had Ashley Winstead books in my top 3 books of the entire year the past 2 years. So I'm very excited to read this one. I feel like there's a lot of pressure attached to it, but either way, it should be a really, really fun discussion in the book club. Also, a very special special thing this month is we are actually collabing the Pretty Girl Book Club and the Last Chapter Book Club, which is run by Deja, one of my besties here on BookTube. We are collabing for the month of November. We have the same book club pick, so we're going to be having the live show together. Now is a great time to join either of our Patreons if you want to be a part of that book club discussion. I always have my Patreon linked down below, and I will link Deja's in this video as well. So obviously we're going to be reading Midnight is the Darkest Hour. I don't know too much about this one. I've heard kind of mixed reviews, but it says it's for fans of Verity and A Flicker in the Dark, which I gave Verity 5 stars. It's one of my favorites of all time. And I gave A Flicker in the Dark 4 stars. I actually just recently recommended it in a thriller rec video. It says a killer haunts a small southern town and 2 outcasts hold the key to uncovering the truth. It's a twisted tale of murder, obsessive love, and the beastly urges that lie dormant within us all. So it sounds like there's going to be some kind of a romance subplot, some content about religious trauma, a killer, and they're trying to track down who's doing the killing. I don't know. It's very, very vague, which I kind of like, but also there's not a lot for me to get like really excited about other than the fact that I know that I like Ashley Winstead's writing. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous, but it's happening. And I also have a couple reading vlogs that I want to film this month in November, starting out with a new release thriller vlog. Since I was busy vlogging HAAILEYAANN in October, I didn't get a chance to do a new release thriller vlog, so one's going to be coming at you in November. And these are the 4 books that I think I'm going to include, starting out with The Hike by Lucy Clark. It says there's a killer on their trail, and I love that tagline. Like, obviously you're walking like this hiking trail, there's a killer on your trail, double entendre. It sounds like the perfect isolated, like picking off one by one whodunit. There's no help, no cell coverage, and no one to hear them scream. Liz is burned out from her marriage and from work, so she's craving a total escape, and she plans a vacation with her 3 best friends, camping on the stunning mountains in Norway. But as they're hiking the trail and striding farther from civilization, it becomes clear they're not the only ones out there. The wilderness hides secrets darker than they ever could have imagined, and if they're not careful, not all of them will return. Straightforward, fun thriller. I loved One of the Girls by Lucy Clark, so I'm hoping I like this one just as much. I also have Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. This is the author of Luckiest Girl Alive, and I loved The Luckiest Girl Alive. It's one of my favorite book-to-movie adaptations with Mila Kunis. That movie made me cry, and it's also one of the thrillers that got me back into reading the summer between my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college, which, y'all, I was talking about this the other day. This is disturbing to me that that was 8 years ago. I'm gonna throw up because I'm like, oh yeah, like I just read that book, and then I was scrolling back in my story graph to see when I read Luckiest Girl Alive, and I was like, oh, it's been a minute since I've read from Jessica Knoll. Actually, I'm feeling ancient, but I am very excited to read her new release. People have been saying that I'm gonna really love this one, even though it's been getting mixed reviews. The people that I've seen rave about it and give it 5 stars, I really trust them, and I think we have similar taste. It's kind of like a fictional retelling of something like Ted Bundy murders. Like, classic doesn't seem like the right word. Okay, let me go with infamous. Yeah. Like the infamous serial killers of real life, basically providing commentary on how women are victimized and have been victimized over time by violent crime, but through the lens of a fictional mystery following the 1978 killings of some sorority girls. I hope this is just as intense and thrilling as The Luckiest Girl Alive. I also have The Drowning Woman by Robin Harding, which again, mixed reviews. I'm excited to give my opinion on all of these because I really feel like all of these 4 books are getting mixed opinions. And this one's actually blurbed by Ashley Winstead, which is fun. It says it's a deliciously twisted story of friendship, retribution, and betrayal about a homeless woman fleeing from her dangerous past and the wealthy society wife she saves from drowning who pulls her into her dark world of secrets and lies. So this is kind of giving me like Pretty Baby by Mary Kubica, if you've read that, or maybe similar to something like Not So Perfect Strangers by L.S. Stratton. I loved both of those books. I love when like two worlds come together. This sounds like a more serious version of like Good Rich People almost, where this woman, this very rich put together woman, is trying to be like on her white savior vibes, and it doesn't go as well as she plans. And then finally for that vlog, I have a twisted love story by Samantha Downing, and I know people have been hating this book, so we might get a little rant review out of this. I don't know. I bought it, so I do want to read it. Why not read it for a vlog? Deja, again, I mentioned her earlier. She hated this book, so I can't wait to give my opinion on it as well. When I hear like twisted love story, especially coming from someone like Samantha Downing, I'm wanting something like My Lovely Wife, something like Joe and Love Quinn from the You series. But this story is following Wes and Ivy. They have this like whirlwind kind of love. It's either really, really, really good or really, really, really toxic. And their vicious cycle of catastrophic breakups and head over heels reconciliations needs to end, because suddenly they have a common enemy to unite against, and that is a detective that's on their trail after them about something that happened on the night of their worst breakup, where one of them took things a little too far and someone ended up dead. So that's it for the thriller vlog, but I also want to do a horror vlog and a taste test in the same video in November, and that is for Rachel Harrison. I really liked The Return by Rachel Harrison. There were some things that I had a little bit of an issue with, but nothing that really took away from my enjoyment. I think I rated it a 3.5 out of 5, but I recently read Cackle for Happy Haileyaan. I will link the vlog where I read that book up above and down below, but that was such an easy 5-star. It has the perfect cozy horror vibes. So my interest was piqued to dive into more Rachel Harrison books. I'm going to be doing a taste test for her in November, reading Such Sharp Teeth and Black Sheep, her new release. Black Sheep is actually Deja's book club pick for October, so there's a couple days left before her live show. I'm gonna try to get it in before that. I also got this copy from Aardvark, and again, I have a code for Aardvark as well. This is not sponsored, but I do want to let y'all know that I have that code. It is still running. You can get your first Aardvark book for $4 and free shipping, which for a new release hardcover book is absolutely insane ridiculous. So I will put that down below as well if you want to take advantage of that. But Black Sheep follows a cynical 20-something as she confronts her unconventional family's dark secrets in a fiery and irreverent horror novel. Nobody has a normal family, but Vesper Wright's family is something else. She left home at 18 and never looked back, mostly because she was told that leaving the religious community she grew up in meant that she was not able to return. But then an envelope arrives at her doorstep, and inside is an invitation inviting her to the wedding of her cousin Rosie at the family farm. Have they made an exception for her? Is this an olive branch, a trap? It really doesn't matter, because something inside insists that she goes to this wedding. And then horrifying family secrets are revealed, horror prevails. I am so excited for this one. And Such Sharp Teeth was the release from Rachel Harrison last year. It's a werewolf book, and I actually have a signed copy, which is very cool. I got this off Pango last year, just randomly. It was super cheap, and I'm very excited that I have it now that I'm really enjoying Rachel Harrison. And this sounds like kind of like a new feminist take on a werewolf story. A woman has to move back to her small town where she's from, and she's reunited with an old flame. On her way back from this meeting, she gets into some kind of car trouble, gets out of the car to investigate, is attacked, and then undergoes this transformation of sorts. I think the physical transformation into her being a werewolf mimics and kind of like reflects the emotional transformation that happens for her as she has to go home and confront things from her past. It reminds me of a story from Out of the Closet that talks about werewolf stories, and I'm really excited for it. Always love a good little author taste test. So that should be fun. And all the rest of the books that I have to talk to you about in this TBR are just random books that I pulled from my shelves that I'm really interested to get into in the next month or so. So they don't have any rhyme or reason other than they drew my attention. I will probably not be getting to all of these, but this is going to be the stack that I'm gonna pull from as I'm mood reading throughout the month. And we're gonna start out with an unconventional pick for me. And this is a fantasy book, okay? I don't know, okay? If there's a time when I'm going to read fantasy and enjoy it, it's gonna be this time of year, so I'm gonna give it a try. And that is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is the one with like parallel Londons. There was a red London, there is a black London, and we are traveling between them or something. Oh, there's a gray London and it's boring. And then there's a red London where life and magic are awesome. And then there's a white London, a city being drained through magical war. And then once upon a time there was a black London, but no one even speaks of that now. And we're following the Red Traveler, one of the last magicians who can travel between these different Londons. Okay. Unofficially, he's a smuggler, which is a dangerous hobby because when he stumbles into a setup with a forbidden token from Black London, things might happen that lead to proper adventure and perilous magic, blah, blah, blah. We have to save all the Londons, but first we need to stay alive. Listen, I don't know. Y'all know I am not a fantasy girl, but I'm open to it. So many of y'all have recommended this to me that I bought it, so I have to read it at this point. I also have a slight interest in getting into the second ACOTAR book. I read the first one 2 years ago and I thought it was all right. I wasn't completely sold, but people say the second book is really what sells you. So, oh my gosh, what is it? The Court of Mist and Fury? Is it ACOMAF? Is that what I've heard the girls say? Is that the one that comes second? I don't know. If I can get this in, this hold-in from the library in November, I will read it. Will this be a vlogged experience? Yes, if I do read it, it will be. I don't want to nail it down as a main channel video in case it doesn't happen, in case my hold doesn't come in, but if it is vlogged, that will be over on Patreon. Going back to my comfort zone, I have Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson, and this is right up my alley. It is a YA horror book with feminist themes about a group of little witches. Meet teenage Wiccan Mila Flores, who truly could not care less what you think about her Doc Martens, her attitude, or her weight, because she knows that no matter what, her BFF is right by her side. But when her BFF and the two school mean girls die under suspicious circumstances, Mila refuses to believe everyone's explanation that her best friend was involved in a suicide pact with them. Instead, armed with a tube of lip gloss, Mila does the unthinkable to uncover the truth and bring the girls back to life. Hello? We are reviving dead girls. I don't know, something about this is kind of giving Heathers, and they're gonna figure out what happened, like why these girls were, what I'm guessing is murdered. And the thing that is driving it all is a teenage Wiccan with lip gloss. Yes, 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 yes. I also have Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. This just seems like the time of year to read this. I've never read from V.C. Andrews before. This is like the creepy grandmother in the attic vibe, weird family dynamic, classic horror. I don't know, but I'm willing to give it a try. I also have a thriller that people have been begging me to read for a long time. It's another controversial one. I've really only seen like 5-star and 2-star ratings of this one, so I'm interested to see where I'll land. And that is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I believe this is the sister or like writing companion of Andrea Bartz. And I've loved a lot of her books. I have one on display over here, the spare room. So hopefully I'll like this one. It's like a snowy, isolated thriller vibe. She's going to write at this like secluded, snowy villa or whatever. But when other people arrive, someone drops a bombshell that they're all completing an entire novel from scratch at this retreat together. There's cruel mind games, there's murder mystery, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's the right vibe, so we will see. I also have A Season with the Witch by J.W. Oker, and this is actually a nonfiction. J.W. Oker moved his family to Salem for one like Halloween fall season, and he basically tells you all about what it's like to be in Salem during this time. Okay, sorry if the angle changed a little bit. My camera literally just died in the middle of me speaking. Why do they design cameras that only give you a battery warning 2 minutes before they're about to die? I don't know. Seems like something we should be technologically ahead of by now, but I digress. Yeah, kind of out of character, but I have a nonfiction book on my TBR about what it's like to be in Salem. That is like one of my dream trips to take, is to spend the fall time, specifically like the day of Halloween, in Salem. So hopefully one season me and Cameron will be able to do that. I'm just gonna live vicariously through this book until then. I also have Pond by Claire Louise Bennett on my November TBR, and this just seems like the vibes. We are following a woman as she plotlessly lives her life and does aesthetic things and ponders, and I think that's like the pond part of it. She's just pondering. She's just a pondering woman. I'll read you the description so you kind of get a feel of what I'm talking about. We are following an unnamed woman who is wry, somewhat misanthropic, and keenly observant as she chronicles her life in a small coastal village. She's ruminating on the charms of bananas and oatmeal pancakes in the morning and Spanish oranges after sex, and the small anxieties of throwing a party, exchanging salacious emails with a new lover, and sitting in a bath as it storms outside. There's meditation on survival that is haunting and playful, and how a sunset walk can lead to an unsettling encounter with a herd of cows. As her persona emerges throughout the course of the novel, sometimes painfully and often hilariously, we cannot help seeing mirrored in her our own fraught longings and our own fugitive desires, despite everything to be known. Does that not just sound like a woman existing? That is what I want to be. That is what I am. And the last book I have on my November TBR is carryover from October. This one was just a little too slow paced, a little too heavy for me to get to last month, and that is A History of Fear by Luc Demoss. And I heard that Luc Demoss has a new book out, which I'm also interested in, but this one I want to get to first. It is a dark academia, coded book about a murder mystery. This student, I believe he's a grad student, claims that the devil told him to commit this murder of his fellow student, and then that creates an epidemic of like people claiming that. Is he a lunatic or has he been telling the truth? Because he doesn't fit the bill of your typical killer. It's a propulsive foray into the darkness of the human psyche, and it has a dread-inducing atmosphere and heart-palpitating pace. I've actually heard that this is quite slow paced, so I will be the judge of that, and we will see what I think about this. Again, November, it's the time for dark academia and things like that. So those are all the books that I am interested in picking up over the next month. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you guys are going to be reading this November. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to go check out Simply to Impress if you're looking for holiday cards. That link with my code will be right down below, but just a reminder, it is HAAILEYH35 for 35% off and free shipping. So go check that out. And finally, don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!